from what I'm told, it is a done deal. We are going to get Teofimo against Shakur in New York City last weekend in January.
So it seems like the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson is actually about to go down. Now, I still have my doubts, as you know, but man, I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up guys, it's Anders Eyes.
We're here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk. We have a good, sweet topic for y'all today. You know what I'm talking about? BTF Rise Up. We have news that is some pretty strong, serious confirmation coming from the Zone and Sports Illustrated contributor Chris Mannix on the infamous Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez fight. Now, the reason why I say infamous is because you know me, right? I have my doubts, man. I have my doubts, not when it comes to 135-pound WBC American champion Shakur Stevenson, but my doubts come in when it comes to the 140-pound WBO American Teofimo Lopez. He's just been calling out a whole lot of people. You see what I'm saying? He called out Jerron Boots Ennis didn't fight him. Terrence Bud Crawford didn't fight him. Gervonta Tank Davis didn't fight him. Brian Norman Jr. didn't fight him. Subriel Matias didn't fight him. You know what I'm saying? Now we're at Shakur Stevenson, and I was like a little skeptic. Now, you know, there's some more people I can add to that, right? He had talks with Richardson Hitchens, didn't fight him. Devin Haney didn't. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people I could talk about, but with Shakur Stevenson, I'm not going to go through everybody, but with Shakur Stevenson, that has been the hottest topic lately. And, you know, I refrain from making videos about it because I just don't really want to waste my time. I talked about it during the lives, but this is the first time that I'm dedicating a video to it because it seems like it's actually about to come into fruition and is gaining a lot of momentum. Now, I am still skeptical. You know why? Not because I'm doubting just to doubt, right? I have probable cause to doubt, right? For your listening pleasure, we are now on Spotify under Dr. Boxing Talk. The same thing on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, everything. Dr. Boxing Talk, man. Come rock with us. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The date that it is being rumored to be on, right, is January 31st, the end of January, which is January 31st. And we know that Teofimo Lopez is a top-ranked fighter, right? And they're saying that the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo, because they're both from the northeast region of the country, right, is going to be in New York. Madison Square Garden is the rumor on January 31st. Well, if you know a fight that was already confirmed and finalized, that would be the unified fight between Abbas Barao, the WBA champion at 154, and Xander Zayas, the WBO champion at 154. So they're going to fight on what? You guessed it, the same day, January 31st in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, it doesn't seem like it's a issue, right? You're like, Doc, why are you worried? Well, because not only are they fighting from the same company, right? Xander Zayas being a top-ranked champion, Teofimo Lopez being a top-ranked champion. They're both fighting in the same country, right? And they're both in the same region, and they're both in the same time zone, and they're both on the same date. Yeah, do I need to keep going? What I'm saying is that usually the fights will come on at the same time. And we know that Xander Zayas and Abbas Barao, they're going to be in Puerto Rico. They're going to headline. And so, you know, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson in New York are going to headline. So it just seems like it's going to be conflicting times. Now, of course, they could stagnate the times, right? Make one before and one after. But a lot of times they want to put the fights on, you know, around 8. We really want to start around, you know, 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and then finish the night around 11:30. So I just don't really believe that they're going to have a conflict of time scheduling like that. But I could be wrong. You see what I'm saying? And just because they don't, it's okay if they have the fight finalized. They don't have the date. Maybe they could switch up the date. You know what I'm saying? Go to the following weekend sometime in February, or go to the week before sometime. That'll be what, January 24th or 25th, right? So it's no problem. It's not a big deal. But I'm just saying, I have my doubts with it being on the 31st, the same day as another title fight, unification with Top Rank again. Around the same time, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that that's kind of, it's kind of troublesome and it's kind of worrying. But like I said, if they can make it happen, we've seen stuff like this happen before, but usually when we see stuff like this, it's usually with two separate platforms. Like, right, we might see a Golden Boy card on the same day as a PBC card, or PBC card the same time as a Matchroom card. We see that, but you know what I'm saying, both top ranked cards. Now I will say this too, another thing that we have to consider is that Top Rank is going through their little shaky period, right, where they don't really have a broadcast deal, so that could be part of it as well. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, it just doesn't really make sense to me. Coming from a logistics standpoint, but it could very much well be. But I still have my doubts mostly because Teofimo, but also because of the conflicting times in which the fights would happen. But it might be an easy fix. You see what I'm saying? I could just be extra worrisome, you know. But I'm usually a glass half full type of brother, you know, very optimistic. But with this and including Teofimo, the time conflicts and Teofimo. Let me say it again. The time conflicts and Teofimo, I just don't know, man. I have my doubts. But speaking of the fight, though, I'll give you an early prediction. You know, I'm going with Shakur. And while this fight is great because I would consider Shakur as the top guy at 135 right now. Bullshit! Because, you know, I'm a Gervonta Tank Davis guy. He's one of my favorite fighters. But because his career is kind of in limbo right now, and he said that he's going to retire, and then after the Jake fight, and the Jake fight didn't even happen, I don't know what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to count him, even though he's a WBA champion right now, I'm not going to really count him as being active. So to me, him and Shakur were the top guys. So with him, us not really knowing what he's doing, I think that Shakur he's the bona fide best guy at 135 by default. And then 140, it's kind of hard because 140, I think that's the second best division out after 154. You know, 140 has a WBA champion is who? Gary Anton Russell. You have the WBC champion at 140 is who? Who was the WBC champion at 140? Subaru Matias, right? Yeah, Subaru Matias, who's about to fight Dalton Smith. The IBF champion at 140 is who? Richardson Hitchens, right? Who doesn't really have anything on the horizon. The WBC champion, Subaru Matias, is fighting Dalton Smith. I already said that. WBA, Gary Anton Russell, he's supposed to be fighting Andy Hiroka. So the other champions are pretty much occupied, but those champions are very good champions, right? And then not to mention the WBO champion, who's the topic of this video, Teofimo Lopez. So while those are all great fights, I'm not saying that Teofimo beats all of those guys necessarily, but you would think that he would be the favorite, right? So I think it's okay whether you like Teofimo or not. You know, I don't really care for him because he's a racist buffoon, right? But I always remained objective. As a boxer, he's a good boxer. You see what I'm saying? And I think that because he's been the longest reigning champion at 140 right now, and he has the ring belt, I would consider him the best at 140 right now. Excuse me. Dang. Maybe I ain't supposed to say that because I immediately went to choking you. Ain't that a sign from God? You know, maybe he's not the best. Hold on. No, but all jokes aside, I would consider Teofimo Lopez as the best at 140 because he's been the longest reigning champion and he has a Ring Magazine belt in addition to his WBO belt. And the other champions only have one belt. And, you know, Gary Anton Russell just acquired his belt after beating Rayo. And then Subaru Matias just acquired his belt after beating Puello. Richard Hitchens just, he acquired his belt from Liam Paro. Then he defended it one time against George Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? Even though George Kambosos beat Teofimo, I would still lead towards Teofimo being the best right now. So I think that this fight would represent two of the best guys in their respective divisions coming together in their primes. I think it's a great fight. However, I want to caution y'all, stylistically speaking, I don't think it's gonna make for an explosive, super intriguing fight filled with fireworks. But we have to love and appreciate the fact that two guys are coming together in their prime. So what will happen in the ring is going to happen in the ring. But as far as this being a great fight, it is a great fight. You see what I'm saying? It is a great fight, no question. But in the ring, it may not be as exciting as people may anticipate. I'm just warning you that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just warning you. That's all. Just be cautious. But I still think it's a great fight, fantastic fight. I love for it to happen. Right now, I will lean towards Shakur Stevenson. The more I think about it, the more I think it's a pretty good 50-50 fight. But for me right now at this moment, I say I'm leaning 65-35 Shakur Stevenson. You feel me? But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Who do you think will win? And do you actually think it's going to happen? Or are you concerned like me because there's Teofimo, who we know loves to chase people around for clout and not really fight them? And then number two, the concern that I raised with the fights being in the same region, in the same time zone, on the same top rank, involving two fighters from top rank on the same day. It just seems like that's not really realistic or even beneficial for them. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.